I remember the sheets were white, not cream, not beige, white, pristine and untouched, just like I used to be. His hands were not my husband's. They were rougher, hungrier. They slid down the curve of my waist, while his breath warmed the side of my neck. The sound I made, it wasn't from pain. That was the worst part. It was from pleasure. A sound I hadn't made in years, not even with Eli. And while I lost myself in another man's arms, my husband was at home, kneeling at our bedside, whispering a prayer for me. He had no idea. His angel was tangled in another man's sin. My name is Claire Whitmore. I live in the suburbs of Georgia. I have a small garden, 2 boys, and a golden retriever named Trixie. On paper, I'm the all-American wife. My husband, Eli, is 39. He loves old gospel music and cries at baptisms. He reads the Bible every night and never misses a verse. He married me when I was wild, unsure, half-broken, and he never tried to change me, only tried to love me whole. But sometimes love feels like silence, still water, and I began to crave a storm. It started with Derek, a divorce contractor I met at the gym. He was cocky, charming, with arms that made your morals waver. I didn't plan for anything to happen. I just wanted to flirt, to feel seen, to feel like a woman again. But it escalated, from juice bar chats, to stories in the sauna, to hands brushing mine when no one was looking. I told myself it was innocent, until the night it wasn't. Eli had Bible study. I had a lie, told him I was seeing my sister. He kissed my forehead, said, "I'll be praying for you." That sentence should have stopped me. Instead, it pressed guilt deeper into my bones, and somehow that made the desire burn hotter. At the hotel, Derek was already waiting. Shirtless, I stepped inside. I won't pretend it was quick. It wasn't. We kissed like teenagers. He lifted me, threw me on the bed. My ring stayed on the entire time. His mouth traced the skin above it. Before he pushed inside me, I moaned. I cried, not from sadness, from release. It wasn't love. It was lust, and it was over in less than an hour. But it burned like fire. Afterwards, I couldn't look in the mirror. I pulled on my dress. My hair was a mess. My makeup smeared. I told Derek it was a mistake. He smirked. Sure, until next time. I came home to cinnamon tea in the air. Eli was on the couch, Bible in hand, eyes closed in prayer. He opened them, smiled. "Hey, baby, you good?" I nodded, lied again. Yeah, it was just a lot. He hugged me, kissed my temple, said, "I was praying the whole time." That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay beside the man who gave me everything. My body still sore from betrayal. Every time he reached for me, I flinched, a criminal waiting for handcuffs. He didn't know, but God did. And worse, I did. I wish I could say I ended it, but I didn't. Sin is addictive. It numbs the parts of you that ache. And I was aching, in places Eli's love couldn't reach anymore. But guilt was loud. It screamed in my soul. Even when my mouth stayed shut, I became sneakier, covered my tracks, deleted texts, cleared location history, changed perfume. But I couldn't hide from my own reflection. Every night, I climbed into bed, carrying a body worshipped by another man. Eli would smile, kiss my cheek, whisper prayers aloud, and I'd lie there silent, a fraud, hiding in my own skin. Maybe he noticed, maybe not, but he never pressed. He just waited, hoped I'd come back. Without shame, he was patient, pure-hearted. And me, I was a storm cloud over his sunshine. One Sunday, things started to unravel. I came home from a so-called girls' brunch. Really, another sweaty escape with Derek, in the back of his truck, on a deserted trail. No love, just lust, just use. Eli was in the kitchen, stirring chili. The house was quiet. The twins were with my mother. He turned, looked at me, held the stare too long. "Claire," he said, "can we talk?" I nodded. pretended to be calm. We sat. He took my hand. I don't want to accuse you, but you're distant, different. If you're hurting, I want to know. If you're drifting, I want to understand. I don't need perfection, just truth. And I broke, but not the way he hoped. I didn't confess. I cried, leaned into his chest and sobbed, like a child. And Eli, being Eli, just held me. Whatever it is, he whispered, I still love you. That shattered me, because Derek had my body. But Eli still had my soul. I tried to stop, blocked Derek's number, ignored his messages, threw myself into family life, helped with homework, cooked every meal, went to church again, hoping grace would scrub me clean. But sin doesn't let go quietly. Derek showed up at my job, lunch break, scrolling Pinterest in my car. He knocked on the window, smirked, thought you could ghost me? I begged him to leave, told him it was over. He leaned in. You're not done until I say you are. That night, I watched Eli at the dinner table, glowing, calm, full of faith, and I felt unworthy. A photo came the next morning. No caption, no warning. Me, bent over Derek's truck. My face, my ring, my shame. I dropped my phone. Couldn't breathe. I didn't know who had it. If Eli had seen it. If I had just lost everything. But that night, nothing happened. No explosion. Eli tucked in the twins, folded laundry, smiled, and that's when I knew I had to tell the truth. But someone beat me to it. The next morning, Eli walked in with his phone, hands shaking, eyes clouded. He said nothing, just handed it to me. The photo, the timestamp, the memory. I tried to speak. He raised his hand. How long? That's all he asked. 6 months. He looked away, and I heard it, the sound of a soul breaking. He sat on the edge of the bed, buried his face in his hands, and wept, not for himself, for me. I begged God to protect you. I prayed for your heart. I didn't know I was asking him to cover you while you were giving your body to someone else. I fell to my knees, begged for breath, begged for forgiveness. I'm so sorry, Eli. He looked at me. I don't know if I can stay, but I won't hate you. He packed a bag, kissed the children, and walked out. I collapsed, and that's when I realized losing Eli was losing my covering, my peace, my mirror. He was the best part of me, and I had shattered him. Derek tried again, texted, called, showed up, but I was done. Went to HR, reported everything. He was fired, deleted, gone, but guilt remained. 2 weeks later, I sat in the back of our church, alone, silent, asking God, why did you let him love me like that? And in that moment, I felt grace, not forgiveness, not peace, but grace. It didn't erase the sin, but it reminded me I wasn't beyond redemption. A month passed before Eli met me. A coffee shop. He looked older, thinner, but his eyes were kind. I told him everything, every secret. I said, I won't beg you to come home, but I'll fight for you, even if I lose. He nodded. I never stopped praying for you. 6 months later, we began counseling. For more, and he came home. We didn't share a bed at first. We took it slow, learned to speak again, trust again, kiss again. It wasn't perfect. It was painful, but it was grace. Grace fought for us when nothing else could. It reminded us we are not the sum of our worst sins. And Eli taught me love is not passion, not perfection. It is presence, even when it hurts, even when it costs everything. I betrayed the best man I've ever known, but God used that wreckage to rebuild something stronger. We are still healing, but we are together by grace, by mercy, by prayer,